further debate. I recognize the member from London Fanshawe.
Speaker, it is my pleasure to rise today to speak to this motion on Islamophobia and systemic racism. I also want to commend the member from Ottawa-Vanier for bringing this motion forward. The province's challenges with racism, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and intolerance is real. Our leader, Andrew Horwath of the NDP, worked together with thousands of Ontarians and pushed for the Anti-Racism Directorate, and the Premier took action to implement it. The Directorate initiated a consultation process in select cities across the province, and at the first meeting here in Ontario, Premier Wynne stated, quote, "This government hasn't done enough on racism and that systemic racism exists, and part of doing her job was to acknowledge that we haven't done enough," end quote. I'm glad to see, Speaker, that the government is taking action. Sadly, xenophobia and Islamophobia are also on the rise in Ontario, and recent headlines read that we are at epidemic levels as hate crimes against Muslim Canadians have more than doubled in the last 3 years, even as the total number of hate crimes have dropped. Ontario has the highest hate crime rate, with 4.8 hate crimes per 100,000 people. Every member in this chamber knows, or they should know, that the time for action is now. I am genuinely glad to see that this motion is now in front of the legislature, and I know that the member from Ottawa-Vanier has a strong history of action with civil liberties, and I hope that she'll be able to use her influence with all of us and within our caucus to ensure that there is action behind the words we hear today. Because each and every incident of racism, violence and hatred represents missed opportunities for this government and all of us, that they have teachable moments that could have inspired education campaigns and solidarity with marginalized people and communities who are living daily in fear. We, as leaders and representatives of our communities, need to be proud, loud and clear that there is no place for Islamophobia in Ontario, that there is no place for anti-Black racism, anti-Semitism, xenophobia, or racism of any kind. If we follow those words with real action and education, we can truly become the inclusive, multicultural, and accepting province that we want to be and that we are. Thank you, Speaker.